Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Immigrant Health and Wellness Tips with Dr. Amma. Today's video is in reaction to a trending video that I've seen online of a nurse who was lamenting bitterly about the impact of night shifts on her health. And as you know, on this podcast, I like to share and break down some health and healing tips for people like you and me. I'm talking about transplants or immigrants, hustlers, expats, professionals, caregivers, dreamers, people who have gone abroad to build a life. I'm your host, Dr. Amma. I'm a Nigerian, I'm a physician, I'm a parent, I'm a spouse, and I'm a night shifter who is currently working the grind. On today's episode, I genuinely want to dedicate it to every immigrant, especially immigrant shift workers who are still trying to stay healthy while trying to pay the bills and build a future abroad. So let's get right into it. So in this video that got me thinking, it appears this woman, she's a nurse, she's also a fellow transplant. I'm not sure what country she is or what country she's from, but I could see her lamenting back to back about night shifts. She was complaining about how her body has been failing her, she was tired, she's losing weight, she's losing hair, she couldn't focus. And I get it, I really do. Because when you look at her, she looked exhausted and she looked frustrated. And like many of us, of course, she looked like she was burnt out. Although she kept on blaming shift work over and over again, she kept on blaming night shifts. Here's my take on this issue though. In summary, I don't think it's the night shift that's the problem. It's not the night shift that's the problem. Night shifts aren't evil. They're actually necessary, especially if you work in healthcare. It's actually what happens before the night shift, during the night shift, and after the shift. And it's the frequency of the shift that's the problem. The lack of the recoil or the recovery after a shift. It's the habits that we tend to build around the work. Doing too many shifts just because you're trying to meet up, and skipping meals while you're doing it, not sleeping well, loading yourself with coffee, and constantly living in that reaction mode. So these are the issues. These are the unmanaged lifestyle bits around shift work that cause most of the damage. So it's more like you're driving a car 24/7 and you're not stopping for gas, you're not stopping for an oil change. Eventually the car is going to break down. So as scientists, I like to tell you with facts, right? So I want to tell you what science has to say about the relationship of shift work and your health. So let's go evidence-based for a minute. According to Health Canada statistics and multiple peer reviews, shift work can actually disrupt what we call your circadian rhythm. This is like your body's natural clock. And when this happens, it increases your risk of some chronic illnesses like cardiovascular disease, obesity, diabetes, and even mood disorders. And according to WHO as well, long-term night shift work has been considered to be a cancer agent. But here's the thing. It's not everybody who does night shifts that'll get sick. Like I said, it's the unmanaged lifestyle around the shift work. That's what causes the damage. So over to more realistic things now. My dear transplant, wherever you are now, whether Canada or any part of abroad, this is where you're calling home now. It's your home. Don't let anybody tell you different. It's not just a pit stop. You didn't come here to come and suffer and break down. You actually came here to build something. And yes, you're building the economy, you're helping to build the economy. But if you're not building yourself too, what's the point? You have to also be building yourself, including your health. So the point of the whole thing is, yes, we have to hustle, but we also have to hustle wisely, considering our bodies and our minds while we're doing it. Remember, you're not just here to work. You're living, you're growing, you're thriving. This is your home now. You're growing new roots that will help you to actually build something. So you have to protect your health. That's the machine that's working. Take care of your health like you plan to be here for the long term, because you are. Some people might plan to return home, but in the long term, not everyone would do that. So protect your health. The next thing, I want to provide you with some actual ideas of how you can survive during shift work and actually thrive. And I've tried to break it down based on different ages. If you're in your 20s to your 30s, Your bodies are more plastic. You're able to recover faster. Your bodies can adapt quickly, but you don't have to abuse it. So make sure that you're staying well hydrated. You're drinking enough water when you're doing your shift, and you're not overloading your body with over caffeinated drinks or like high sugar energy drinks. You're not doing that, and you make sure that after your shift you have a good routine that leads you into the next day. And for those in their 40s and their 50s, your metabolism has now slowed down. It's taking you longer to recover. So you also want to be more intentional in looking after yourself now, right? You want to also slow down a little bit. Invest in blackout curtains. Make sure your sleep is optimized. Blackout curtains, these are curtains that are thick enough and does not allow light to penetrate. And if you're struggling a little bit, you can consider using some magnesium supplements. Of course, after discussing with your doctor to make sure it's a good fit for you. And then limit shift swapping, limit unnecessarily prolonged shifts if you don't have to, and try to choose a steady rotation if it's possible. For those that are above 60, at this point, you should be considering retirement, right? Your body is more spastic. It's not going to be fluid anymore. So you have to reduce the frequency of your night shifts. Focus on roles with predictable hours. You have no business with certain kind of jobs anymore. Try to see your doctor for regular checkups and engage in light physical activity after your shift. Go for a little bit of a walk if you can, a little stroll around the park. You can go swimming, anything, but it has to be more balanced now. And that will help you to maintain good circulation and good mental clarity. Soon you'll become a grandparent if you aren't already. So you really have to be more intentional about your body. I've given you some strategies that will help, based on your ages. We have agreed that shift work is not actually the problem, it's what you're doing. And I've told you some things that you can do that can help to improve your shift work habits, right? So I'm just going to summarize it nicely with what I call your shift worker toolkit. Number 1, consider sleep. Sleep is mandatory. So make sure you're always sleeping in a dark room, in a cool dark room. If you like, you can use a white noise machine for those people that it works for. And make sure that you're sleeping at the same time every day. Even on the days where you're off, try and maintain that sleep time. For your appetite, eat on a schedule. Avoid eating heavy meals, especially after midnight. Eat protein-rich meals before you go to work. And while you're at work, you can eat a little bit of light snacks. And then if you're going right to bed, use more of complex carbs, not like simple carbs before going to sleep. I would recommend no coffee. Maybe you can switch to something like warm water or maybe tea that is decaffeinated. And the next thing you want to do is move your body. I recommend at least 10 minutes of stretching post-shift. This can reduce any pain, any stiffness, and kind of promote enhanced circulation right before you go to sleep. And it actually does promote good sleep. Nothing too vigorous, just a little bit of stretching. And on the days when you are off, still consider going for a walk, swim, or dance. Teach your body to get used to these things, and your body will thank you later. And then protect your mental health. You can try to do things that help you to actually improve your mental health. For me, it's journaling. I like to journal. And this whole podcast actually started as a voice memo. I was always recording things, and from there, I just decided, let me get started to the podcast. So yes, you can journal your wins after each shift and find like a support group if you're into that, if you're comfortable with that, or like a wellness circle. If you've got friends, you can connect with them every now and again just to help you kind of connect. And then if you feel like your symptoms are still getting worse, you're having more low moods, more loss of interest, loss of energy, more anxious feeling, and is affecting you daily, more burnout, speak to your doctor. Sometimes there is room for you to actually take time off work to kind of take care of your mental health. Customize your routine when you talk to your management. If you can do certain kind of shifts, rotate your shift, preferably forward. Like if you do mornings, next thing you want to do evenings, next thing you want to do nights. Your body can process that better than when you do nights and then you're switching to evenings. It gets a bit confusing for your body. And then make sure that you schedule days off after you do like a string of nights. So you've done a string of nights for like a week or a few days. Take some days off. Take like a couple of days off, or 48 hours off is what I do to help me to recoil. And in your place of work, if you feel like things are not going well, advocate for yourself. You can talk to your manager if you're feeling overwhelmed or if you feel like you're burnt out. Some businesses, some companies, some employers actually have some services that can help to support people who are suffering from things like burnout. And another thing is finding your balance while you're here. One of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite movies, The Pursuit of Happiness, is you gotta dream and you gotta protect it. And for us immigrants, that dream includes our health. If your health is challenged or it's gone, you can't enjoy the money. You can't enjoy the house. You can't enjoy the future, your spouse, your children. You can't enjoy any of these things. So let's protect our bodies the way we're protecting our PR status or our visa status. Let's just consider wellness a priority in our daily lives. So my final takeaway is, yes, you belong here. You deserve to thrive. You're not just a shift worker. You're a builder. You're a healer. You're a dreamer. You're a survivor. You're here. Although shift work is tough on the bodies, yes, but you're tougher, especially when you're armed with the right tools, which is what I hope I've shared with you today. So let's reframe it. It's not the night shift that's the problem. It's the lifestyle that we build around the shift. So let's choose rest, choose to fuel your body well, choose joy and happiness, choose routines that actually serve you. That way you can enjoy this life that you're trying to build for yourself. Once again, it's me, Dr. Amma. I've walked this journey. I'm still walking the journey. I've worn the scrubs. I'm still wearing the scrubs. I've done the nines. I'm still doing the nines. And now I'm here to remind you that you can actually have the longevity, the joy, and the peace, even if you're doing night shifts. Just know the right things to do while you're at it. Well, thanks for joining me again today. Remember, stay strong, keep thriving, keep pushing. Until we meet again next time. Bye-bye.